Did you know that in Re:Zero, Felt might be a lost member of the royal family? In the light novel, after Reinhard unveils Felt as the fifth and final royal candidate for the royal selection, it causes a commotion among the people, as they see Felt as just a commoner from the slums. However, Reinhard draws people's attention to Felt's appearance, as she possesses blonde hair and crimson-red eyes, which were the trademark characteristics of the deceased royal family. On top of this, there was also the fact that there was a princess of the royal family who was kidnapped around 14 years prior to these events, and it conveniently aligned to around the time where Felt would have been born. Felt's hair and eye color, along with the timeline of the princess being kidnapped, being similar to the time of Felt's birth, gave Reinhard more reasons on top of the fact that she was recognized by an insignia to suspect that Felt might be a hidden member of the royal family. Did you know these facts about Majiro McQueen in Uma Musume? The first fact is that McQueen was originally supposed to have a much harsher personality. She was written as a cold and ruthless noble lady who looked down on weaker characters, but later they changed her to be the more approachable and likable McQueen we know today. Second, she is a huge fan of baseball. She is a devoted Hanshin Tigers fan, and in the Uma Musume universe, the team is renamed the Hanshin Takes, and she supports a player called Yutaka. This baseball obsession even shows up in her sleep, where she shouts, "Bring 'em home," like a true fan. The third fact is that McQueen is often portrayed as elegant and noble, but in the anime, she often uses all kinds of real-life pro wrestling moves on her trainer. Some moves that she uses are the Palo Special, Spinning Toe Hold, Romero Special, the Cross Bomber, and even the Tower Bridge. Comment what other Umas you'd like to see next.
What exactly is a vampire progenitor in Seraph of the End? We've seen several progenitors within the anime, with Cruel being called a third progenitor and Ferret a seventh, but what exactly does that mean, and what do the different ranks mean? For the title itself, it's basically just a term that shows whether or not a vampire is a noble, and only humans that were turned into vampires by a progenitor can become a noble. But the part where it really gets interesting is the progenitor ranks. All vampire progenitors are insanely powerful compared to an average vampire, but some progenitors are more powerful than others, and that's where the ranks come in. There are progenitor ranks all the way from 1 to 20, with the lower number being a higher rank and a more powerful vampire. And only ranks 1 through 6 are allowed to be on the progenitor council. On top of this, a vampire gets the progenitor rank based on what rank of progenitor turned them into a vampire. For example, Ferret drank the blood of a second progenitor, which gave him the rank of a 7th. And Cruel drank the blood of the first progenitor, which gave her a rank of a 3rd. And the age of a vampire does play a small role in the strength of a vampire, but it's primarily whoever's blood they drank. So I guess you could call Mika insanely lucky that Cruel was the one that decided to turn him into a vampire. Did you know that an Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian? Alia used to have a very different appearance. Over summer break in the novels, Kuze and Alia were walking through a train station together when something caught their eye. It turned out to be a picture of Nanoa modeling on a poster with a bunch of other models, and it caught both of them by surprise because of how much Nanoa stood out with her looks despite how attractive everybody else on the poster was. Kuze was especially shocked, and he ended up staring for a decent amount of time while also complimenting her looks. Unfortunately, he was with Alia, and she ended up pinching his cheek because she was upset with him looking at another woman while he was out with her. Kuze gave her an excuse that it was because her blonde hair stood out, so his eyes were naturally drawn to it, but Alia immediately questioned why he was drawn to Nanoa's hair and not her silver hair. This forced him to say that he thought her hair was beautiful too, but she casually brushed it off and revealed to him that back in her childhood, she used to look extremely different. This was because her hair wasn't actually always silver, as it used to be blonde just like Nanoa's, meaning a young Alia would have blue eyes and blonde hair just like Kuze's childhood friend.
Did you know that an Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian? Taniyama actually saw Kuze and Alia's indirect kiss? In the manga, when Taniyama confronts Alia about partnering with Kuze for the student council election, she accuses Alia of using dirty tactics to steal Kuze from Yuki, and believes that she only did it to toy with the two of them and have them face off against each other in the student council election. When Alia denies her claims, Taniyama reveals to her that she saw the two of them at a restaurant together after school and saw them acting like a couple, along with Alia feeding Kuze ice cream. Taniyama then asks why Alia would do something like that if she wasn't trying to steal Kuze from Yuki. This caused Alia to become flustered, but she stood her ground and said that that event had nothing to do with the student council election and that it was normal stuff to do between friends. However, Taniyama did not believe a word she said and asked her to stop messing with the student council election and to drop out of the race. Did you know that Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian? There were originally 3 extra student council members, but they left because of Masha, Alia, and Yuki. In the light novels, when Yuki was asking Kuze to join the student council during lunch, Kuze brought up multiple reasons why the student council didn't need him, alongside him not wanting to join. One of his reasons was because Yuki actually mentioned how she was only going to allow girls to join the student council this year, as she believed that any teenage boys on the council would be too distracted to get things done. His other reason was because Yuki had recently told him that the student council had gained 3 new members. Hearing this, Yuki revealed that the new members they had got didn't last long, and they actually all quit. When Kuze asked why, Yuki told him it was because they believed they weren't good enough to be on the student council. Kuze immediately understood where they were coming from, as he already knew how incredible all the girls on the student council were, as Masha, Alia, and Yuki all had some of the best grades and looks in the school, and he understood that their talent could make anyone feel inferior and quit. Did you know about Ram's complex feelings about Rem loving Subaru in Re:Zero? Because she wasn't hiding it, Ram found out about Rem's feelings for Subaru fairly quickly, but she decided to not directly tell Rem she knew. However, Rem would sometimes ask Ram questions about her looks, or something similar to that, particularly wanting to know what Subaru's opinion of it would be. One time, she asked Ram if it would be weird if she grew her hair out, and when Ram asked if she was wondering about her opinion of it, or someone else's, Rem replied asking what Subaru would think of it. Hearing this, Ram would reply with a distasteful comment about Subaru. This is because even though Ram doesn't hate Subaru, and actually thinks pretty decent of him, she doesn't believe he is a good fit to be Rem's lover, and she even says this to Rem herself when Rem asked her if she hated Subaru. Despite all of that, Ram is still happy that Rem has found love, and she just doesn't like the fact that it had to be Subaru. Did you know why in Charlotte you didn't help Tamori when she was getting bullied? You was watching the whole interaction between Tamori and her bullies when they attacked her and admitted that it wasn't cool, but for some reason he decided not to step in and help. During this time, Yu's opinion of Tamori was also becoming a lot more positive, as he had started to trust her decisions more, stopped complaining when she asked him to do things, sympathized with her past, and even thought she was amazing after he saw how much effort she put into saving a little girl during one of their missions. So the reason he decided not to step in and help her out could be one of 2 things. It could be because he didn't think it was worth the effort and didn't care, just like how Tamori thought it wasn't worth the effort to go and get payback on them like Misa had suggested. But that's probably not the reason, given the fact that Yu didn't think what the bullies were doing were okay, and he even checked up on Tamori after the bullies had left. So that means the more likely reason that Yu didn't step in and help is likely because Takajo said he believed he knew what was going on, but it was still best not to step in, and Yu knew that there was probably a reason it was happening given Tamori's nature, on top of her not even trying to defend herself. Did you know that in Re:Zero, Amelia and Puck don't actually specialize in ice magic? With the magic system in Re:Zero, there are only 6 magical elements that someone can have, those being water, wind, earth, yin, yang, and fire. However, they are a lot more complex than they sound, as water magic isn't just the manipulation of water, but the manipulation of life, causing most people who specialize in water magic to be healers. Wind and earth magic are a lot simpler, as they are just the manipulation of the ground and wind. Yin magic is a type of magic that allows users to use debuff effects like slowing an enemy down or obstructing their vision. And Yang magic is the opposite of Yin magic, allowing a user to use effects that buff their attributes. Finally, fire magic isn't just the ability to control fire, but actually the ability to manipulate temperature itself. And it is the type of magic that both Amelia and Puck specialize in, as both of them actually remove all the heat from their spells, allowing them to create ice instead of fire. And because of that, they are able to cast ice magic. Did you know that in ReZero, Rem's nighttime routine once got Subaru into major trouble after Subaru put his life on the line to save Rem's life and helped her overcome her mental block? Rem fell deeply in love with him. Because of this, there was a noticeable change in how Rem acted every day, as she began to talk and smile more, and it caused her to build stronger relationships between her and the other mansion residents. However, there was an even bigger change when it came to her daily routine, as she started to wake up earlier and stay up later to give herself time to look at Subaru's sleeping face after he went to bed and before he woke up. One time, when Rem went into Subaru's room after he fell asleep, she started to talk to him about all the things that she loved about him, and at one point, she put her arms on the bed and began to lean over the bed to get a look at his face. As soon as she did this, Subaru, who was still asleep, unconsciously wrapped his arms around her and pulled her into the bed with him. Rem would find herself being hugged like a body pillow by Subaru, and she would use the excuse that she couldn't get out of his hug to leave, so she allowed herself to fall asleep next to him. The following morning, Ram would walk into Subaru's room to wake him up, and she found both him and Rem asleep in there next to each other, and it would lead Ram to give Subaru a violent scolding.